Everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for another run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Thursday, Mosh Pit. We are officially 1 week into 2026. How have your New Year's been so far? Has it been good? Has it been better than expected? Did you start that workout that you said that you would do to yourself and then you didn't, like me? Or has it not been living up to snuff so far anyway? Let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing that kind of stuff. Hopefully your year's been going great. Mine has. I mean, 2026 started off with a bang. Had a lot of banger videos, a return of an old favorite game, and more. And if I had to rate it, I'd say the first week of 2026 gets a chef's kiss. I'd say an A+ so far. Hopefully yours is going on well as well. Here's your meme of the day / picture of the day, submitted here by Personal Tax 8552. Title of the thread was trying to teach my daughter how to play, and then in the thread they said she likes going up and down and shooting, and then in parentheses they also said she's autistic, so it's pretty new for her, and she looks like she's having an absolute blast and it is absolutely adorable. I do like how she's playing with the controller as well. So the Mosh Pit collectively is going to need an update. We need a skills update on your daughter's progress in a month or two. So I want to see her clearing the first floor boss or something. I think that'd be awesome. Thank you very much, Personal Tax, and everyone who upvoted that on this Invicta subreddit. I'm not ready to think about taxes yet, that's for sure. We got a couple weeks left. Sierra Alpha November 6 Quebec Golf Charlie. We got Mystery Egg to start off with and the Scooper. Our tears rate's fine. Our damage is fine. Shot speed's fine. Movement speed's fine. So yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the best. Not the worst. I only say that because the problem is that our passive item is the biggest turd in the punch bowl here, with it being the Mystery Egg, which if you don't know what that does, basically if it takes too much damage, it will spawn a random monster in the game that will, instead of help Isaac, it mostly just targets Isaac and can make it very confusing and add to a lot of visual doo-doo for a run. I am going to use a bomb here. I know there's a soul heart, but right now I'm going to prioritize the 2 keys, mainly because I want to get into the library now, but I also want to make sure. Okay, well, there's our bombs. I also wanted to make sure that if there's a golden chest, we'd be able to take care of. We'd be able to actually, like, you know, get some kind of payout there of a bomb. I mean. So the logic there was taking 2 keys in hopes that we find a golden chest instead of just going for 1 key and then 1 soul heart. I liked my odds of actually getting a golden chest with a bomb or something like that, but now we don't have to worry about that, so good on us. I'm going to switch over to the Telepathy for Dummies active item, which is just going to give us Spoonbender for the room, and also a range upgrade, which is kind of nice. We could go for a more explosive option with Anarchist Cookbook. I think that's a little bit risky and a little bit irresponsible here, and our range is about to go down to nothing as we get number 1, which is a fantastic tiers upgrade at the cost of a major cost of range. So us picking up Spoonbender here, or Telepathy for Dummies, is a pretty good get, as we need to compensate for that. And we could bomb for the soul heart. I didn't think it was going to be there, but that's a pretty high percentage wall, so it was worth a shot, really. Okay, now that one I don't understand. You're telling me that it's right over here, is what you're saying. And we're going to use another bomb here. I don't think this is going to be enough to quite get both. Oh, it did get both, and we got our bomb back. Good. Good. Now, you could argue that we should have maybe taken a couple of bombs and played the Bomb Beggar, which I don't disagree with you, but this had a higher chance of paying out with something. I don't know what just happened there. I'm pretty sure that the Mystery Egg just jostled that Gaper forward. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. And knocked it into us. Trigger. Because remember, it takes damage, so it does count as a collision point for objects and enemies. So yeah, Mystery Egg, there you go. Thanks for showing up. We don't appreciate you. We don't want you on this team, and never have, never will. So feel free to go to another organization like Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. I would absolutely. You don't want to know what I would do to get him on the Bucks. Like, you know, Todd Bowles went from having his job secured for another season for some inexplicable reason to having a really hot seat now that John Harbaugh is on the table. The Bucks won't get him, though. I mean, speed up, range down. Well, our range can't get any lower, so... or maybe it can. All right. Ears down. We're gonna need some range. Yeah, that was not helpful there, Pat Isaac. Todd Bowles went from somehow having his job to hopefully not anymore. Dude, this gurgling. Get a range upgrade. Okay, so that's something, but we need some more help. We go to last week's question of the episode. This was a long one here, and the only one with an upvote that I saw anyway from the New Year's Eve episode, or New Year's Day episode, came from Kaboom KP, who said, late question of the episode. You have mentioned that the 500,000 subscriber is a goal for the year recently. What specific things do you think can be changed to the channel while still keeping old fans happy? Do you think you need to be pushing subscribe goals more aggressively? I personally already think the like streak is a good incentive. It has made me go back and like videos. Cheers, been a fan for years. Well, thank you very much for being a fan for this long, Kaboom, as well as your question of the episode. So the goal being 500,000 subscribers by the end of this year, by the end of 2026. It's a lofty one because my channel does not grow all that fast anymore. But I do think that, you know, with how long I've been on YouTube now, which is since full time since 2012. You know, I think everyone knows me by now. You know, I don't really change a whole lot. I enjoy where things are, and you know, it's a product of being a Taurus, I guess. I'm very, very stubborn and resistant to change. But that being said, I'm definitely always open to listening to people. It's like I was talking about in the other episode this week. You know, I'm always open to listening to people because you people in the mosh pit are what give me my job. I've said that many, 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 many times, and I won't go into that whole rant again. It's not a rant, but I mean just that whole spiel again. But I do plan on getting some things changed this year. I don't know if I'm going to be pushing the like streak and that sort of thing more aggressively. I'm definitely thinking about doing some series specific like streaks. Like putting one in for one of the off games that we do. I'm also not trying to expand too much on my game library in terms of other games we play besides Isaac, because obviously the biggest one of the year, for me anyway, is coming up next month, and that is Mugenics. That is going to be our go-to game. So, you know, restarting Lobotomy Corporation. What's funny about that is that was not supposed to... That was not supposed to be the game that was coming back. The other game that I was planning on returning, that was a total audible from me. Because the other game that I was planning on coming back to was not working correctly on the day that I was going to start recording it. So the Lobotomy Corporation restart was a purely off chance that would happen. I did want to return to Lobotomy Corporation at some point this year. I didn't plan on doing it this soon though. But I do think that, you know, focusing on another game is going to be good for the channel. I'm not saying that the main focus is not going to be Isaac. It's always going to be Isaac. Isaac is what built this channel at this point. But having a sort of a second anchor game is going to benefit, I think, in a large way. Looking at maybe, I kind of alluded to this the other day, I think maybe yesterday's episode. Looking at maybe bringing on another editor or artist, animation artist, because I definitely like the short form content. I like having animations. I like having the idea of being able to go to an editor, not for Isaac runs. Again, not talking about Isaac runs. But I think other games, especially First Impressions, could maybe benefit from that. It also has to do with sponsors as well, as most of the deals that I've come across lately, anyway, they want more shorter form videos, like anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes, no more than 21-minute videos. And of course, I just don't do that because I just do not. It goes too spooky again, man. It's tears and shot speed. We don't need shot speed. I'm going to say no. Our tears rate with number 1 is fine for now. Another Curse of the Unknown. There we go. There's our max tears rate that I didn't have to pay 3 soul hearts for. But yeah, so sponsors nowadays, they're not looking for raw extended video playthroughs of their games for first impressions or a sponsored deal. They want highly edited content that's flashy, that's going to bring in people, going to bring in engagement and that kind of thing. Which, you know, the mosh pit surprises every single time. This is 100% win rate for us. Any time in the history of the channel where I've said I don't do editing is not something that I excel at. I excel at just playing the game and learning in a very naturally organic method, which is appealing to my audience and new audiences who I try to put myself in the audience's shoes of saying, okay, you know what, this is a game that I've never played before. I have, let's say, limited knowledge enough to buy the game myself, but maybe not theory craft at all. I have no expectations whatsoever. And I think that raw form of presentation for sponsorships is sometimes off-putting, but when this is the 100% win rate I'm talking about, every single time I've gotten a sponsorship, doesn't matter what game it was, doesn't matter what company, it just doesn't matter. They have all praised my audience and my ability to present their game in a very, very positive light, despite it not being edited. And that's how I've produced very, very good working relationships with a lot of studios and a lot of sponsors over the year, because the mosh pit really does surprise them. Every single time. For Ember and Blade, for example, the Horde Survival game that we did, which by the way, I'm still planning on playing more of that. I know I keep saying that, but that game really was a treat to play. The developers of that game were blown away by how good the response was and how good the numbers looked on that video. And that's something that I cannot thank you all enough for. So doing more edited content, I think is going to be key moving forward in terms of, you know what, screw it. We've had Ipecac before, and we've regretted it. Oh my gosh, the tier height is so bad. It's almost skipping off the ground, dude. Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful here. Team sale, so we can now get both of these. I have no idea what our HP is. So in a very long roundabout way, focusing on adding high quality, and I mean the highest of quality, animated content, short form content, the shorts to TikTok. I think that's going to be one key improvement that the channel can make this year, as well as hiring a second editor and or animator to help grow the channel even more with more appealing content, and make it easier to digest for new people. And obviously, again, Mugenics is hopefully going to be that next big thing for the channel, where I'm gonna sink a lot of time and investment into producing videos that make Mugenics to be a smash mega hit. And it's not only just because that, you know, I would say that I'm friends with Ed. It's not just because I want his game to do well, which I do, but our channel is directly tied with how well those type of games do overall. And I also believe that Mugenics is going to be a massive, massive success. With all the testers that have been playing it, with all the people who I've interacted with who have played it, they can't say enough about it. Oh, I can see my HP now. You sure, game? Game said, "Shut up and take this devil deal." All right, fine. Fine, I will. Over under on odds of us having another Oppenheimer thumbnail have increased dramatically. With us having another Ipecac run. Yeah, TLDR, more edited content for shorts, hiring a second person for editing duties and animation duties. The primary job would be for editing stuff, and growing the team to reach that coveted 500K subs. It's a number that I honestly have not ever, I don't want to say cared about. It's never been a goal. You know, I don't really put sub goals as the main priority for me. I've always just wanted to make sure that the main priority here is to always make sure that we're making videos that people want to watch. They're having fun with, dude. They're having fun with and just enjoying themselves and making a daily part of the routine. But the Mugenics videos, I'm not planning on editing unless I have a feeling. I have a feeling that those runs are going to be very long. When it comes to me in strategy games, especially when you're talking about tactics games, those can take a while. No, that is a death sentence right there. So if it comes down to Mugenics taking lots and lots and lots of time, then that might be a candidate to make edited content for it. But it's my desire to take Mugenics and do it like an Isaac Let's Play. Yeah, we got to lock in here because we are absolutely taking way too much damage. Running into shots, not making dodges. It's not helping that Mystery Egg keeps throwing a turret in the a wrench in the spoke for us. As seeing these mobs kind of come out of nowhere is scary. And so notice how the mom hand, even though it's on our side, is still trying to attack Isaac. And look at this, we get C Dizzle. So C Dizzle and D Bizzle. First time we get to see him in the year. Tag team, the actual tag team champs. C Dizzle. Look at him go. Oh yeah. This Mystery Egg is... I don't know what the game's obsession is with giving us Mystery Egg as a starting Eden item. It happens a lot more than you think. We had it at least 3 or 4 times last year. That's 3 or 4 times too many, by the way. We've got to get some kind of HP generator here other than D Bizzle, because obviously D Bizzle is D Bizzle, but he's not the most dependable Bizzle. Upgrade right there. So the benefits of Ipecac obviously are the massive amount of damage. It's the explosive shots. You don't have to worry about really anything in terms of needing bombs for something. And also, again, the massive amount of damage that you get from Ipecac is undeniably strong, but it's the self-inflicted damage that makes it extremely, extremely risky to take. Especially when you're talking about a run where we have no range, we have very little tier height, as you can see. These things are barely skipping off the ground. And we're gonna have to be careful. Until we get explosion immunity, we can't get too close. And you're already seeing a problem where I'm having to back up and push the tier just so we can squeeze out a little bit of range out of our shot. And that's putting us in a bad position because it's making me get closer and closer to the target, which means that we're going to be running closer and closer to the ignition or the explosion radius. Ebizzle, 3 soul hearts out of all those hearts is okay. It could have been better, but it's fine. I mind because I want to go for Beelzebub. Not anticipating getting Guppy here, but it would be nice. Gonna turn it down, that's for sure. Stupid. Don't start bombing skulls until you know for sure there's nothing left to do in the room. Otherwise, you're just going to extend the room. Haven't found the item room yet. Feeling we're going to the boss room right now. Nope. Gas. Secret room? That is another thing with Ipecac, as well as anything like Dr. Fetus or Epic Fetus. If you have enough explosions, there's really no excuse for you not finding every single secret room and super secret room. I've already found the super secret room. This is the regular secret room. Or not, wow. Oh yeah, that's right, because there were rocks there. I'm stupid. Where the hell is this item room? I'm gonna go ahead and use Flippy for Dummies here. Look how much of a difference our attack range makes. Just a slight range upgrade here in homing. Big, big, big upgrade there. If we can get D-Bizzle. Get another soul heart here. Oh. I mean, we're at full HP, but I'm expecting to get a double deal here. A very outside shot at making boss rush, but certainly going in the wrong direction every single time here has not helped us on this map. I will say that it feels like January is the month so far after week 1. It feels like a month that was we're just doomed to go in the wrong direction. It's the curse of Sinvicta Navigation month. I'm trying to get at. No. Amolacria is a big no-go. I will take Empty Heart, as it does give us a worthy amount of Red Heart upgrades that we don't have to pay for or anything. And another orbital here. I'm not sure why. Small Rock. All it does is just gives us a slightly bigger damage upgrade. It gives us slightly more damage and a lot less movement speed. And with Ipecac, not necessarily a good thing. So I'm gonna absolutely fade Small Rock right now. Don't need it. We don't need the damage. And as much as I would love to take an explosive Maw of the Void, it's also not wise. And that's the big criticism of Ipecac that I have, is that it does limit your choices greatly because of the self-inflicted damage or danger that it has. Yeah, it'd be nice. I'd love to hit a sub goal this year. You know, and of course the promise here is that if we do hit 500,000 this year, we're still 164,000 subs short. But if we do somehow hit that and make a great stride towards completing the objective, at 500,000 subs, I will delete my save file and start a fresh one, which has been the most requested thing for me to do in Isaac at this point. I'll delete the first slot, which is right now it's still the Afterbirth Plus trophy slot. And I would delete that, and I'll sunset it for a good cause. And and then yeah, we're just gonna start a new playthrough. Now, the playthrough that I had in mind is the way that if I were to start a new save file, and get rid of the old one, I would start. I originally wanted to start on Rebirth and then go up through the generations, because that's how I've been telling people how to do it. If you're starting out with Isaac, don't start on Repentance. And so I wanted to present the idea of me doing a full throughout the generations, all unlocks. I think it would have been very interesting. I think it would be very popular. But it's very difficult to do that. You cannot easily retrofit your Isaac file. You can't do you can't take the client and say, I'm gonna play on my Rebirth files to start with, or I'm gonna play on my Afterbirth Plus or Afterbirth files. You have to actually uninstall the entire game and start from scratch again. And again, I think that would be fun, but I would have to start on Repentance. But I still hold that advice, though, is it holds true. Is another very, very popular question that I get asked a lot is, I'm new to Isaac. What are your first tips? What should I do first? The first thing you should do in Isaac, above all else, is learn how to dodge and learn the items. Learn what items are good, what items are bad, what items you think is going to make is going to match your playstyle in video games, whatever. Learn which items do what and which items to stay away from. There are objectively many items out there that would be catastrophic as a new player to Isaac. So learn how to dodge, learn the items. The second biggest thing is don't start your Isaac career, finger air quotes, career. Don't start on Repentance. You're only making it more frustrating by a factor of 20. Starting on Repentance, just start with your base Rebirth, and then go slowly from there. That's the experience that I wanted to provide people if I were to restart and delete the save file. But the only problem with that is that I don't know, because there's if those of you who've been around long enough, you know that in the early days of Repentance and Repentance Plus, the game was bricking save files. Everyone who didn't back up a save file or didn't have a Steam Cloud save or anything like that, you ran the risk of it actually bugging out and destroying all your save progress, and you had to start from scratch. So I don't want that to happen, which is the reason why I would basically just be doing it from scratch from Repentance. Exactly what I tell people not to do. But I also think that probably might be a little bit more engaging for people too, to see a fully unlocked save file start from the beginning on the newest version of the game. Aya Belial, it gives us range, I guess. I don't know. That's a weird drop for us here. Because on the one hand, yes, we do get range, but the problem is that with Aya Belial, it will pierce something and continue on. And if it curves back around towards us, we could inevitably be hit. That's an odd one. Now, something I don't want to do more of is I don't want to do more giveaway incentives types. No idea what just hit me there. I don't want to do more giveaway style incentives. Like I'm never going to say, hey, if we hit this like street goal, I'll give the next person an autograph. You know, that sort of thing. We do all that on stream, and I love doing those. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love doing giveaways like that, but to have it as a channel boosting engagement post for that, I'd rather not do it. Yeah, I give away tons of stuff to the Mosh Pit every single month, and I don't want that to become a draw watching my channel. I'm gonna have to start taking red hearts because we're just taking way too much damage here. You know, back in the old days, on the very, very old days, I'm talking 2010 old days. You know, the idea as a nothing channel, and it's easy to fall into that trope of, you know, hey, tell 5 people to subscribe, and if they verify by doing this, then I'll give you a $10 Amazon card. You know, that it's easy to get to fall into that mindset as a beginner content creator, YouTuber, whatever you want to call yourself. But I don't encourage people to do that, especially if you are trying to make a legitimate run at becoming a influencer, content creator, or anything else you want to give this stupid title to. Because you want people to follow you for you. You don't want them showing up because they can get a free lunch. You know, that does not give them an organic incentive to stick around and support you. They're only here for themselves. And it's going to be a hollow, Pyrrhic victory if you start growing your channel based on just giving away a bunch of stuff or very little stuff. You know, some YouTubers mask it as giving away, you know, give $10,000 to the homeless, but they use it for content, or giving an exorbitant amount of money for someone to change their life forever and that sort of thing. You know, all those biggest, you know the channels I'm talking about. All those channels have other methods that they use to build what they have now. They didn't start off by doing giveaways. It's usually by silly videos, having a charming personality, that sort of thing. That's what you want to start building your channels off of. And you know, not wanting to do that kind of stuff for me is easy. But I do remember a time where I was like, you know, how am I gonna, the biggest question is, how am I going to attract new people to my channel and make them want to stay here? And that question is answered by myself a few seconds ago, which was having a charming personality, making people want to support you. Don't pay them to support you, make them want to. So doing more giveaways, stuff like that for a like streak goal or something is not going to be something that I'm going to be doing. I think that coming up with interesting like streaks, I think that coming up with more compelling videos, more flashy videos to attract a larger, broader audience on YouTube is the way to go. But I'm dead set on making a big push for channel growth this year. There was a death button over there. You don't know what just happened there. If you see these 2 columns here, occasionally you'll get lucky and spawn an alt path death button. It'd be totally hidden, but there's one right here. And it's always good to check those columns. Little pro tip. That only happens in the cathedral, though. Knew that was coming. As soon as I made a move for that first blorb, I knew it. I feel like D-Bizzle's been picking up a lot of hearts. There we go. I had someone come into the channel the other day, and I don't know if this person's a bot or not. So if you are a real person and you were inspired by my videos to start your own channel, I mean this with no offense, what I'm about to say, but this person came in to my Twitch channel the other day, and they've never followed the channel. They've never said anything. In Twitch chat, you will get a first-time chatter highlight on the moderator and the stream and the channel owner side of things that shows this is the very first thing that this person or this account has said in your channel. And their first and only message was, something to the effect of, I'm so excited, I just hit 50 followers today on my stream. And, you know, and I politely said, oh, you know, that's good for you. You know, I don't know who you are, but, you know, that, hey, great. The problem is that for viewers and for the streamer as well, it comes off as very self-promoting. Like, you know, hey, I just got my first 50 followers today. Just let you know that I stream. Come check me out. You know, that sort of thing. And that is legitimately one of the worst ways to promote yourself. Is by doing something like that in someone else's stream. Whether it's my stream, a big stream, trying to piggyback off of others of a collab stream, anything like that. I promise you, it's not going to end well with that kind of thinking and mindset. All year, and I will go so far as to say this, and I don't even think this is really a hot take, is that the amount of engagement or the amount of return that you can expect from doing that kind of stuff and having that kind of behavior is practically non-existent. You're not going to attract people who are going to be longtime supporters of you. You're not going to get genuine organic growth because of that. And all it's honestly going to do is just piss off the streamer and turn everyone in the chat against you. So again, I've never seen this person, so with all due respect, if you are a real person, if you're a member of the Mosh Pit and you were inspired, you just wanted to share some excitement, hey, I'm happy for you. Just be careful with how it's perceived. Because if you truly want to grow, the last thing that you want to do is go out, tell everyone in someone else's stream, say, hey guys, I stream, letting you know if you like the Binding of Isaac, hey, I also play the Binding of Isaac. That's not going to end well for you. It's probably going to get you banned in more streams than not. Most streams on Twitch or on YouTube have a very strict no self-promotion rule, including my own. So and that's just to stop that kind of thing. It's unbecoming of yourself, and it's also not going to grow your channel. You know, you see this happen a lot on Kick as well as Twitch. Kind of very much less so on YouTube, where someone will buy a bunch of bots and to say, you know, hey, join this Discord, receive a $20 promo code for some gambling website or something like that. And that's just not the way you want to do it. It's not going to give you true growth, and it looks grody. It just comes off as grody. You go piercing. I don't think piercing shots matter, but I'll go for it. I definitely want to explore more animated content. I think with the songs that Mark and I are writing currently and finishing, I think that those will also play heavily into growing the channel as well. Because I think that a couple of our songs, I mean, I would like to believe that all of our songs are going to be mega popular, but it's easy to say that when you're talking about your own baby. I do think that a couple of them, one in particular, has a large amount of appeal to grow, to get some legs and run. And I think that if I start doing more music content as well, that's also going to kind of go into the fold of increasing the channel's engagement and reach out there to new people. So big plans, big doings in the works for 2026. I've got a clear goal in mind. I've got ideas of how to do it, and we've got plenty of promising games coming up very soon. That's going to help the Mosh Pit grow and get to those incentive points for me. Ultimately culminating with hopefully a reset save file and a fresh playthrough of Repentance. I think that everybody would want to see that. The only pushback I've seen from that discussion is people who don't want to see me delete the fully unlocked save file, which is this one, and of course the Twitch one. Because they still want their daily Eden videos, that's going to be tough. If I were to do a full-on, no, that's death. if I were to do a full-on reset of the save file, the daily Eden videos would practically stop because there'd be so much that we'd have to go through and so much to have to unlock and everything in the new save file that it's Isaac overload. So that would be one casualty of having to do something like that. Especially if by that point, let's say this does happen sometime in November, December, or maybe sooner, I don't know. By that point, it's not going to happen in February or January, I can tell you that. By that point, Eugenics would definitely be out and would be in full swing on the channel, along with whatever other games are coming out this year. We got lots of promising games this year. But we will take the dub here. And again, awesome discussion today. Not really a whole lot to talk to gameplay-wise. We got hit with some BS. Also didn't play a couple of those dodges very well. But at the end of the day, we're going to get the win here. And 2026 starting off with a bang with our first Ipecac run. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you click the like button, leave a comment down below. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Always post feedback down below in the comments as well. What are your main objectives for Eugenics? What are your expectations for games this year? What games are you really excited about coming out this year as well? Hey, don't forget Monster Hunter Stories 3 coming out very soon. I will be playing through that, probably on the gaming channel, but we'll see. So thank you again. Post them in the comments, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like, thanks to pages of mine like Dummy Boy, Newborn God, Medic Wolf, Alex Fran, and Campbell McLaurin. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of tonight's episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Invicta. Sorry about that, Campbell.